All right. What's up, fam? It's the Cosmic here. I was just wanting to go over how I typically build my watch list for the week. Um, I really just start out with my weekly watch list and then I filter out through them throughout the week for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, etc. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So first, I get my sub $10 scan. My filters I have active on it. By the way, this is Benzinga Pro. If you don't already know, this is my to-go news source, to-go scanner, to go-to scanner. I love this. I love this thing. It's not a substitution for stocks to trade. I want to elaborate that 100%. It's just my stocks to trade cannot run on my computer, and if I could have it and run Benzinga Pro and my E-Trade Pro all at the same time, that would be my ideal setup. But continuing on, I typically run my scans for stocks under $10. That is up 10% on the day, which will be a Friday, and then that has a volume over 100 million. 100 million. So then I'll go through all of these and I just add them. I just click them to my watch list. I'll click on it, add to watch list, and then weekly. So that's just me getting all my top percent gainers into my weekly watch list. So next, I will go to my watch list and then select my weekly from my drop down bar, and then just kind of filter through them as I go through. So GMBL, it's did a 4.7 million in its float. It's in its volume on Friday, and its float is 5.7 million. Going to the 1 day chart, it looks like this is what looks like a 2 day runner, maybe. Yeah, 2 day runner right now. So it's on its second green day. So this stock is typically something that I wouldn't play for a Monday. I would look at it for it being overextended. I mean, it's almost up 200 over 200% right now. So I don't like this chart. It is high priced. I feel like it's overextended. So this is something that I will keep on my weekly watch list, but I will not put into my Monday watch list. Next, going over here to PEIX, I do the same thing. You see right here on the 29th is whenever it really surged. And it, closed almost at its high, and it's its first green day. So it's 1 day chart. I mean, you see that it's ran pretty well. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and be like, you know what, I like this. So what I will do is come over here, add to watch list, Monday. I'll put that on my Monday watch list, and that's something I'll be watching. PHIO, essentially just rinse and repeat everything here. Honestly, I really don't like how it did not hold any of its gains whatsoever. Look, it went from the 228s all the way up to the sixes and then back down to 290. I have no faith in this stock to run again. It looks like that was just one simple supernova. I'll keep it on my weekly watch list, but it's not going to be something that I put into my actual Monday watch list. So I will just continue to go through here. MLND. It looks like it is on a pretty good first green day. It's up from the twos up to the 270s. It hit the 280s, or close to the 280s. So it looks like it's its first substantial green day. So this is something that I want to watch on Monday. See if there's another breakout. MBVR, same thing. This is honestly all rinse and repeat. It didn't do well on Thursday, it looks like it, and now it had that nice little breakout over this 0.96 range, and it's all the way up into the 215 or 115. So this would be something that I would look at, but then look at this drop off all the way back down right here. This is something that I don't like. I don't like if it drops off after a big run up. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and remove this from my watch list. I'm not going to watch that. That looks like crap. and then I just rinse and repeat. This looks like a nice little first green day right here. This would be its first green day, but this is a nice second green day, very substantial, all the way from almost up 100%. So yeah, this will be something that I'll be looking at. I'll go ahead and add this to my Monday watch list. And so right now, essentially what I'm doing is I'm just going through and whittling down my weekly watch list into my Monday watch list. This is another one, a really good Green Day right there, even though it's had a gradual run up and it finally broke out. Just off of this really, really quick overview that I'm looking at, this is something I'm going to add to my Monday watch list. So this is me filtering down all the stocks that I put on my weekly watch list, and then I will go through and filter them down even more. So as I do that, let's just go ahead and switch over to my Monday watch list. Monday watch list, I have all these right here. I'm looking at mark because I have positions in it. TBLT, I'm not really looking at. I'm not concerned about that. INQD, not really concerned about that one either. I don't really like the sub penny stocks, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove that one. But WRTC, for example, let's just do something really, really quick to kind of give you an example of how I like to look at these stocks on multiple different sources. So WRTC, it had a nice little run up. They're a wrap company. They're making bolo wraps for law enforcement and the Army. Essentially, they shoot out a bolo wrap to contain perpetrators versus shooting a taser or a gun. Especially with the tragic happenings and that happened with Floyd this past week and all the riots in America. This stock is running in sympathy, and these type of police monitor stocks will run in sympathy. They have done so in the past. I've watched from so far, I am going back from current in Tim's video lessons, and I'm all the way back starting I am now at the end of 2016. I just started watching those videos. So I've already watched a good 3.5 years worth of Tim's video lessons, and the last time that we've had one of these large Black Lives Matter movement with the police brutality, the sympathy plays of these police monitoring stocks have spiked in the past. Then you go down here and be like, okay, so what's the news? This is whenever I start looking at what's the news on these tickers. And right here, you see they paid for shares to buy some shares, some random stuff. I really don't care about these right here. But this right here, the Benzinga wire, this is huge. Wrap Technologies reports prize to appear live Saturday morning on MFLD TV Chicago. So that's a Fox News channel, and they were in fact on that channel. They actually did have an interview. So I bought this anticipating the news to come out over the weekend. It's already had a substantial run up just in one day. I mean, if you go into the 2 days, like it's not the first Green Day by by 1 or 2 days, but still it's a substantial run up from the 5s to mid 6s. So I am anticipating a breakout on Monday because it's just going to drive volume, especially with the happenings that's going on right now. And so that's what I'm going to look at. So I then come over here to Profitly/SSS, and I'm going to type in, delete all this, WRTC. Pattern. What's the pattern in the price? Well, it is the first Green Day. It spiked like that before. If you want to go back to the 1-year chart, look, it's coming up onto key resistance levels right here. And if it can break, honestly, if it can break into the 7s and push past the mid to high 7s, we're looking at a pretty substantial breakout. And then and the next resistance levels will be up here in the nines. So honestly, my entry is right here around the 660s. It's actually at a 660 average. I'll show you that in a minute. So I want to sell right here in the eights. I really, really want to sell right here in the eights. I'm looking for at least $1.50 run up, and if not, even more. I'm not going to get greedy though, so that's what I'm going to be planning on selling at. So has this stock? What's the pattern? What's the price? It's right at its key resistance levels. It's spiked past in the it's worked before, and it's its first green day. So I'm going to put this at 17 on my list. Risk reward. So with risk reward, I want to go to E-Trade Pro. I want to click on my WRTC. I've already populated my whole weekly watch list into my E-Trade. I will be filtering these down as I finish up my Monday watch list. But right here, we're going to look at my risk reward. So what are the key levels on this stock? Where did it drop to? Right here, $6. So $6 is where it bounced off pretty nicely. And the high before that is going to be $5.62, and before that it opened up at $5. So right now it is, like I said, I got in it right here in the aftermarket, close to around the 660 range. You can see right here, I actually have 670 average. I bought 25 shares at 660, then another 25 at 680. Just so I can lock in a position for the weekend, because I feel like this is going to be a massive play. So my risk, I'm going to be setting at 6. That's 10% on the downside. As we said earlier, if we want to go over here to the 1-year chart, we're looking at another dollar, at least another dollar up on the upside. So that's probably the lowest I want to sell it at, as a 6-7 at the 760s, but I really want to sell it right here in the 8s. So about 66 downside, we'll say a $1.60 upside. That's about 2.5 to 1 risk reward ratio. It's not that great. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put that at 12. I mean, it's not a horrible risk reward, but it's not great. Ease of entry and exit. It's a highly volatile. It's a high volume stock. We'll go back to it and see what it's done in volume. $2 million or $2 million in volume. And let's go back to Benzinga Pro to see what the float is. It's about 14 million in float. So it is a low float stock. And it's a low float runner. And we go back to E-Trade Pro and we see how it's performed. This is a pretty substantial day that it's had today. It's one of the largest days in volume it had on Friday. So this is and I was able to execute my buys fairly simple. The spread was kind of sucky. You look at that spread, it's just, we almost got a 20-cent spread there. It is kind of sucky, but still I was able to lock in my 50 shares. So with my ease of entry and exit, I am going to say, I'm going to say my ease of entry and exit, we'll put that at an 8, because I was able to execute. It's a low float stock. It's at its highest volume in the past year. And then we go back to past performance history of spiking. This stock has spiked before in the past. It spiked, almost $1.50 a share just on Friday. So I want to put this at an 8. What time of day? I have things to do tomorrow. So honestly, my personal schedule is going to be a little bit lackluster there at the pre-market, but I'm honestly looking at, I will be back around market open. So since I'll be here during the market open and throughout the trading day, this is, I like to have it in, I like to be here during pre-market, but since I can't, I cannot give this a whole 20, so I'm going to go ahead and put it at a nice 17. Otherwise, it'd be perfect for me. Reason and Catalyst, it is a cop sympathy play. Here, I will pull up their, just give me 1 second, I will pull up their actual video that they posted on what they can, what their technology is. So essentially, boom, wrap, wrap, wrapped. This is something that is going to be in play, especially during these times. So, Reasons Catalyst, I am going to put it at a 10. We're in the market, we're rioting right now. This is something that I want to see. And within the market environment, let's go ahead and look at the SPY. So, right now, the SPY is looking like we closed up pretty strong, close to our highs on Friday in the aftermarket. And look, we're kind of rebounding after this, big crash that we had. So it is the bull's market right now, with the economy running up and all of that fun stuff. So then let's go ahead and look at the QQQ. And again, you see almost the same pattern. We are rebounding from a bad crack. So the market environment is popping for bulls. That is for going long on these plays. And like I said, it's the right market and the right time for one of these stock plays to be popping off. I mean, I hate taking advantage of this tragic time in America at this moment, but that is what the stock market is taking advantage of what's happening within the market environment. So I'm going to put this at a 10. So we're sitting here right here at an 82 on my psych sliding scale. This is a high buy for me. And this was at the price of whenever I wanted it at the 660s. 60% downside, about $1.60, $1.80 upside. So my risk reward ratio is 1 to 3. It's not terrible, but it's not the best. And this is something that I want to, I am going to be definitely keeping an eye on in the future. So that, and then the last thing I like to do is I just hop over here on my Twitter. By the way, you can follow me on Twitter, dbrown3630. And you can also, I also here have a link to my Discord. It's a free open platform server for anybody who would like to join, have a community, a friendly community of traders who are alerting stocks in real time. I also want to say we are not financial advisors, and information we post is not to be taken as trading advice. Trade at your own risk. Don't follow alerts. You are a moron if you follow alerts. You're just going to lose money. And if you make money by following alert and not knowing why you made money, you're just going to make the same play later on in life and then just lose. You're going to blow up your account. So don't follow alerts. Focus on doing your research and understand why you're getting into these trades. That is why I will actually show you right here. Proof of what happened. My first biggest red day, let this load up here in a second. My first biggest red day is right here. And that was me following alert on LK. I lost almost $250 on that one play. This was me emotionally trading, but this was just following a alert. That's bad. It showed my first red week. Like, I can't tell you how important it is not to follow alerts just based off taking somebody else's word, even though you may trust somebody. Even though it's somebody like Tim Sykes, like, I trust him to know what he's doing. He's had 20 years of experience, but I will never, ever, 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 ever follow his alert just because I don't want to chase his alerts. What I want to do is know how he's thinking and be able to predict the plays that he's going to play and be in it before he's in it. And then that right there is showing me that I am learning and I am growing as a trader. So going back to Twitter, I'll go right here and I'll type $sign WRTC. And if you have stocks to trade, that's great. I love stocks to trade because then you're not bouncing back and forth to all of these websites. Benzinga doesn't have Twitter integration. Stocks and Trade does. Benzinga doesn't have the best charts. That's how come I go to eTrade Pro. Stocks to Trade has an amazing charting software. I love Stocks to Trade, and unfortunately, it won't run properly on my computer, and that's how come I'm not using it. So, anyways, go back to WRTC. I'll look at it, and I will see the latest, what people are talking about right now, and you'll see that 35 seconds ago you have people. That's nothing really important. That's nothing really important. And you just kind of see people are talking about it being shorted. Big run, $7 gapper. You can just see that people are talking about this. This news is breaking, and people are wanting to know what's going on with this stock and thinking that it's going to be a good play. So I go into Twitter, see what the hype is all about, see what people are thinking. If people are talking about it, then it's something that I want to be looking at. And there's a lot of tweets going on over this stock. So it's hyped up. People are looking at it. It's a low float runner. And in my experience, whenever something like this happens, like I said, you can see right here, I've only been actively trading for what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going on my 6th week or 8th week of actively trading. So if this is typically one of my favorite patterns, a first green day pattern that is breaking out, and it's a high up on my psych sliding scale. It's being hyped up on Twitter. It's in the right industry, and so that's something that I am going to have A+ on my watch list. So all in all, that's essentially how I make my watch list. I kind of take an idea of what's going on, why the stock is doing what it's doing, what's the pattern, has it spiked before in the past, and I will do the exact same thing for not only these stocks, but for the rest of my watch list, on my weekly watch list. I was just for time's sake, I just went through I say really quick, but one example of how I look at a stock and how I put it on my watch list. Thank you so much, guys. Like and subscribe, share to your friends. It really helps out. And again, down in the description, I'm going to be linking my Twitter, my Discord, and if you have any questions, comment or DM me on Twitter, or I hope to see you in our Discord. Thank you so much, Fam Bam. Y'all have a blessed night.